Waiting for it to catch up. Literally a split second into 2:16. Had to make sure Jet was done eating and everything. He had a little bit of a late lunch. So I was just double checking and making sure that he's fine. Let me double check and make sure the audio's good. Okay, that's happening. Frames are dropping. Good lord, here we go. Get rid of everything that can make this run slow. Let me just double check, you guys. I want to make sure that the stream moves smoothly for all of you as best as possible. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. You guys know how this tends to go. These tend to be translated early, and then they get, I guess, retranslated later for lines more in line with what the original actually is for solo leveling. So I'm just letting you guys know that if there's any mistranslations or if I read any names wrong, then I chalk it up to the translation itself. But, yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here to bring you my final solo leveling stream for this year. This is the last Wednesday of this year. The last day for solo leveling, and the last day of the year is tomorrow. So that's going to be the day where I do my final One Piece reflections as well. I'm just doing a quick channel update for things that are going to be happening. But tomorrow will be my last One Piece reflections as we reflect on all the chapters we got in December, leading up to chapter 1000 this upcoming Sunday, and I cannot wait to read that for you guys. So let me just go ahead and make sure that everything lines up connection-wise so you guys don't get cut off or anything. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with solo leveling chapter 133. Because last we left off, Yuri Orlov got eaten by a giant, and Jin got called in to see Jinho's father concerning, him finding out that Jin's mom was healed of the eternal slumber sickness that affects a lot of people who run afoul of magical energy but don't have the ability to resist it. And Jinho's father is undergoing that same symptoms of eternal slumber. He's asked Jin about, helping him out with that. And not only that, but Jin has seen the fighting that's going on, and part of him wants to go help out, but then Jinna doesn't want him to go. So now he's caught between the crossroads of between going to go help with the black gate that's opened up, or helping Jinho's father, or staying with his sister. So staying with his family, more likely. So now we get to see what happens. So chapter 133, and we got a helicopter hovering over in pretty much buildings that are all on fire. And then we got a news crew. This is terrible. It's destroying buildings, tearing out trees. They're going around as if they're trying to erase all traces of humanity. And more importantly, they're devouring humans. Oh, great. It's Attack on Titan all over again, except every Titan is colossal Titan size. Then, we'll also, if we're at a height they can't reach, we'll be safe as long as we don't attack first. It's been confirmed after several observations, so it should be true. Anyway, that biggest one of them giants, all the other giants have wandered off, but that one is guarding the gate alone. The same giant that slashed through Yuri Orlov's S-rank barrier in one swing, he's standing in front of the gate, while all the rest of the other giants are going around destroying stuff and eating people. It's either waiting for someone or holding the gate. No one knows for sure. And the colossal giant is just sitting on a building, grinning. Kind of like the Guardian from Samurai Jack, just grinning ear to ear, just sitting there in front of the gate, daring anyone to walk up and try and get through. Personally, it doesn't seem to me that it's alive. Hold on, let me get the microphone close to me. Sure, it breathes and moves, but it almost seems like a machine, moving based on how it's programmed. Machine, huh? If it really was just a machine, all the bombings would have worked. Out of the 31 giants that came out of the gate, we've only eliminated 2. How long has it been since the dungeon break happened? It's been 2 days now. I wonder if we'll be able to stop them before everything is destroyed. So, these giants have been wrecking shop ever since Jin was asleep from coming back from that double dungeon. What? You're going to Japan? Hey, Jinho! You saw the news! It's on a completely different scale to Jeju-do! I almost thought for a second that I read that wrong, but it could be the way that he says Jeju Island, but that it's called Jeju-do, okay? It's on a completely different scale to Jeju-do! There has never been such a gigantic monster before, young Nim! If I succeed, the fame of the Ajin Guild will spread across the world. Still! So it's on the level that even Jinho, who always trusted me, is worried. But he's got a point. This incident is really... Alright, young Nim. I'll come with you! Huh? The Red Gate incident, the Jeju-do raid, and the recent double dungeon, too. Do you know what all these news articles have in common? Don't know. Is that I'm nowhere to be found in any of them, young Nim! He's upset that he hasn't been featured in the news articles in anything that Jin has been a part of. That's what he's so hung up about. He's willing to risk life and limb to be seen along Jin, because it would kind of help his reputation a little bit. I can understand it. Still dangerous, though. The only thing I can brag about in front of others is that I'm always by your side. It's embarrassing to say this myself, but you're my source of pride, young Nim. And he has a whole scrapbook of every article that Jin has been a part of. I don't think that's what a child of a rich family should be saying. So I'd also like to be where you are, young Nim. Please take me with you. You were just advising me not to go. Do you remember where I said I'm going, right? I trust you, young Nim. So if you're safe, I'll be safe too. And he can only smile and put his head down like, this guy. I was joking. Why would I go to Japan in this situation? Young Nim? You can head home for today. Good work. Young Nim! And then he just solemnly looks at him. Jinho does. Although I wasn't able to use my shadow soldiers, the architect was almost as strong as me, even though I was over level 100. That must mean there are still many who are stronger than me. The world is vast. There must be plenty of those who are stronger than me. I shouldn't think that it'll only be resolved if I go. It's not like I'm some kind of a hero. Tadaima! Oh wait, this is Korean. I don't know how to say that in Korean. I'm home. You're home, son? You're having dinner, right? Choose. What about Jinna? She said she doesn't have an appetite. Yeah, I need to choose. Oh, so this is stuff that was leading up to his meeting with Jinho's father, because he says here, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do for you. Then how did your mother recover, Hunter-sung? Sir, if I knew how and wanted to make money through it, why would I be keeping quiet about it? Right. Goodbye. Wow, he chose not to help Jinho's dad. And chose to keep it to himself. I'm kind of surprised, yet at the same time, I'm not. And he's in the elevator. Still, it's Jinho's father. But I don't know him. I don't know what kind of person he is, and whether he really has a condition or he's scheming something. There's a limited number of the holy water of life. Remember, he made a couple of them because he had more than enough materials to do so, and he only used one on his mom, so he still got some left over. There's a limited number of the holy water of life, so I need to be very careful with how I use them. His offer was very daring, but it didn't coax me. If this is the time for me to choose everything, if this is the time for me to choose everything, I would. And then he's eating. And then he says, Mom, I'm going. Oh, wait, what does he mean? Does it mean he's going to Japan? Is Jin going to Japan? There are still plenty of people who are stronger than me. But even so, as long as my growth doesn't stop, I gotta keep heading into the battlefield to become stronger. And then his mother says, Your father always went running if he heard there was a fire, even when he was in the middle of eating. I'll help you pack your bags after you're done eating. And then there's Jinna laying down, and she slips the cover further up her head, which means that she was listening, and she doesn't like the fact that Jin is going. And she just covers up in the blankets even more. And who's this stepping into the room? And it's Jin talking to Jinna. Jinna, are you asleep? Yeah. Let's talk. I need to sleep. Where do I begin? You see, I almost died recently. And Jinna's not reacting to this whatsoever. Well, that's not what I meant. So, I've always been in danger of dying, but it really felt like I would die that time or something. It was pretty dangerous. Anyway, I still made it back alive. Every single time I return home alive, I'm thankful for it. So I'll come back alive this time too. And he just pats her head. Thanks. And she's got tears in her eyes. He can't see this because she's covered up, but she's teary-eyed. Thanks for not stopping me from leaving all this time. You're going anyway? Yeah, I'll be back. And then and then you see shadows just appear around him. Don't worry, I'll protect you even when I'm far away. And it shows, I believe that's a whole bunch of ant shadows around him. And then we got Go-Gun Hee. I gotta say this real quick. You gotta love Jin. He's such a loving brother. Even when it comes to him thrusting himself into dangerous situations, he still has a heart to return home and make sure that his family's okay. I'm trying to put this into more concise words, but even with all the power that Jin has, especially the massive power boost after getting the Black Heart, he still is humble enough to consider his family in his decision making. He doesn't have this big head of, I have all this power, I can do whatever I want. He's humble enough to realize that even with me being strong right here, right now, there are still other people and other things that are stronger than me. So as long as I continue fighting, as long as I continue fighting, I can get stronger and protect the people who are most important to me. So for him to have these moments with his family where he's saying, I'll be back. Don't worry. I've come close to dying many, many times, but I've been thankful for every time I managed to come back alive. So this time will be no different. I'll come back this time. Thanks for not stopping me. So I commend Jin for considering his family in his decisions this way. Because when you see a bunch of people have power, sometimes they don't consider those closest to them and take matters into their own hands. So for Jin to, bring these things up to his family, weigh his options and see which ones not only benefit him, but also benefit his family as well, shows a lot of empathy and sympathy for his family in his endeavors. So I commend him for it. But now we got Go-Gun Hee here in front of a whole bunch of news crews. And there's a couple panels where he hasn't said anything. And then there's Jin. Oh, Jin is there. Jin is there. Is that him making his official announcement that he's going to help out in Japan? I don't know. Let's go down. But he's talking in front of the podium. And wait, they're shaking hands. Wait. Is Jin joining the Hunters Guild? Is he joining the Hunters Guild? Because all these panels are happening, but no words are being spoken. We're just seeing montages of images right now. And then we're at an airport, and we have Jinho carrying a whole bunch of gear on his back, and a lot of people are staring at him like, wow, he's carrying all that stuff? And then there's Jin in his usual black attire, because, necromancers can never have any other color other than black. But he's standing there because Jinho's with him. And then he just sighs as there's numerous people trying to take his photo there in the airport. And then he looks over at Jinho. Oh, no, 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 no. That's it was not him joining the Hunters Guild. It was him, I guess, announcing officially that the Ajin Guild is official now, because now it shows Ajin right here, and it has the symbol for it here as well. And it shows him walking along with a lot of the gear that it shows him walking with Jinho, carrying some of the gear that he was already carrying on his back, while there's numerous armed agents making sure that no one disturbs them. So I guess that's him officially announcing his guild to the world. Sung Jin Woo, S rank, Ajin Guild Master. And Yu Jin Ho, D rank, Ajin Vice Guild Master. And that's it. This is the official announcement of the... Okay, so this is the chapter where the Ajin Guild is officially announced. Nice. But not only that, Jin took Jinho with him to Japan. So who knows what's gonna happen now. But still, the Ajin Guild has been officially established. And with Hunter Cha Hei-in, I guess snooping around, I guess hopefully in the future she'll be joining the guild officially, or however that's going to work out. Who knows how many people are going to be wanting to join Jin's guild from here on in. Well, overall, I enjoyed this chapter. I enjoyed it a lot. Whew. Here's the thing. I was expecting a lot more action, but this was more of a talk no jutsu type chapter, where there was a lot more talking. If I want to read the visual novel, which chapter would this be on? I mean, this is chapter 133, but I don't know how that translates to the visual novel. So I personally don't know, Sebastian. Unfortunately. Sorry about that. Because I haven't read any other type of media concerning solo leveling other than these singular chapters themselves. Okay, the frames dropped for me for like a quick second. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here before things get worse. Okay, I was just double checking to make sure that the stream was still good. But overall, I enjoyed this chapter. Not as much action as I was expecting, considering what the Giants were doing. We were pretty much being told what the Giants are doing. They're going around... okay, thanks. No problem, Sebastian. Happy to help out as much as I can. The Giants are going around destroying everything, but the colossal giant himself is just sitting down on a building in front of the gate, just waiting. Don't know if he's waiting for the another monarch to show up to fight them, or if he's waiting on Jin specifically, or if he's waiting on someone to try and challenge him. That remains to be seen. But as of right now, the whole area around Japan is just being ransacked and destroyed. People are being eaten left and right. And no one has stepped up to try and fight them. Even with the guys saying that they used bombs. They've only, out of the 31 giants that have come out of the gate, they've only managed to take down 2. So, I don't know who's going to show up. I don't know if any of the national level hunters are going to show up. I don't know who other than Jin is going to show up, because Yuri Orlov is pretty much dead. He's pretty much dead because he got eaten by a giant. Just dropped like a skittle. I don't know who else is going to lend Jin a hand in this endeavor. I feel like if Jin starts fighting in Japan, because the team that was with Ryuji Goto, if they see Jin, and they also see Beru, and if Jin uses Beru at any time in the fight, that is going to cause a lot of animosity because Beru, before he became Jin's shadow, pretty much killed almost all of Ryuji Goto's team and Ryuji Goto himself. So if Jin gets to Japan, he starts fighting, he starts using his shadows, and Beru shows up at any point, and Goto's team sees Beru, a lot of questions are going to be had. And I honestly feel like none of them are going to have any love or any, camaraderie for Jin whatsoever. So the real test is not going to be when Jin's fighting, but what's going to happen after the fighting's done. Because Jin could do a lot of good in Japan, but once the fighting is over and everything settles, questions are probably going to be asked about how Jin got that shadow of the thing that killed all their friends, and why he sided with Jin. So that might be an interesting conversation if such a thing ever comes up. But that's just something that I'm thinking of. But who knows? Jin says that there's multiple things, there are plenty beings and people stronger than him, but as long as he can get stronger, he still has to head out and fight. Because, I mean, you ain't gonna gain experience just sitting down unless, I don't know, unless he sends his shadows out. But Jin prefers to do these sort of things in person. But who knows how things are going to be when we read solo leveling in the first Wednesday of next year. But overall, I enjoyed this. Not as long as my One Piece streams tend to go, but I enjoyed this chapter nonetheless, and I'm looking forward to the next one. It doesn't say if we're going on break or anything like that. It doesn't officially say it because this is a fan translated version of this, so it doesn't really show up if it's going to go on break or not. So it remains to be seen. But other than that, I enjoyed this chapter. Don't know about you guys, but I enjoyed it. I am gonna keep an eye out for, just in case, if it shows up on Wednesday or if it doesn't, because sometimes these chapters tend to show up at, I don't know, 12, and then sometimes they don't show up until at least like 3 or 4. So I don't know. I got to keep an eye out on these chapters. But overall, I enjoyed it. So that's all I got for you guys. I give this a good, maybe about a good 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 type chapter. There's a lot of talking, a lot of stuff being established. The major standpoints being Jin going to Japan to fight, and the Ajin Guild being officially established as its own guild. Not just an idea, but it's an official thing now. So those are the two biggest standpoints of this entire chapter. Not only that, but Jin refusing to help Jinho's father. That's probably not going to be a subject that doesn't turn up later. So, who knows? But overall, I enjoyed this chapter. 7 out of 10. Looking forward to the next one. That's all I got for you guys for today. I look forward to seeing many of you on my last One Piece stream for tomorrow on the last day of the year. One Piece Reflections for the month of December. 2020 is almost over. But just because this year is almost over, don't mean that we got to get lax. Everyone still remains safe out there. Still do the whole social distancing thing. Wash your hands, don't touch your face. And just be careful out there, everyone. I would like to see you here again. With that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples.